Dear friends, welcome to this special exploration of one of life's most profound mysteries. Today, we'll delve into a question that resonates in the depths of every grieving heart. How do souls choose who to appear to after they've crossed over? Why do some people constantly feel the presence of their departed loved ones, while others wait years for even the smallest sign? I know how difficult it is to lose someone close. The emptiness that follows seems insurmountable. Their voice, their smile, their embrace, all transformed into painful memories. In those moments of profound loss, any sign from our departed loved ones becomes an invaluable gift, warming our souls and giving us strength to continue. Many of you have shared your experiences of communication with souls who have passed on. Some describe vivid dreams, others mention strange coincidences, sudden sensations of a familiar presence, or finding meaningful objects in unexpected places. And in all these stories, the same question emerges. Why me? Why now? The renowned American mystic Edgar Cayce, often called the sleeping prophet, provided remarkable insights into this phenomenon during his lifetime. Cayce, who conducted over 14,000 documented readings while in trance states, consistently described the soul's journey after physical death. According to his readings, the connection between souls transcends physical existence. It's an eternal bond that death cannot sever. Cayce explained that after transition, souls gain a special kind of perception. They can discern who is ready for contact and who isn't prepared to accept it yet. He described it as a form of energetic attunement, similar to tuning a radio to receive the correct frequency. Souls naturally seek those who resonate with their energy. This process depends on several key factors. First is the emotional readiness of the person to accept such contact. Second is their degree of spiritual openness and receptivity. And third is the existence of unfinished business or unspoken words between the soul and the person. Modern research into paranormal phenomena supports many of Cayce's insights. Scientists studying cases of contact with departed souls note that these experiences most frequently occur with people in a specific emotional state, not deep sadness, but rather a state of what might be called luminous melancholy and acceptance. Souls can sense this disposition. They recognize when a person has moved beyond the acute phase of grief and reached a degree of acceptance where contact can bring comfort rather than renewed pain. This explains why signs from those who have departed often don't come immediately after their passing, but after some time when we've begun to heal from the loss. It's crucial to understand that a lack of obvious signs doesn't mean the soul has forgotten us or doesn't wish to communicate. Sometimes the reason may be that we ourselves aren't yet ready for such an experience, or perhaps we simply aren't noticing the subtle signals being sent. As Edgar Cayce emphasized in reading 5756-4, for communication with those who have passed beyond the veil is not a supernatural thing, but a natural law, if we understand it. The connection between souls transcends the physical boundaries we perceive in everyday life. Edgar Cayce's readings frequently emphasized that emotional bonds serve as powerful bridges between our world and the next. In reading 5756-14, Cayce explained that emotions are the windows of the soul, suggesting that our emotional state directly influences our ability to perceive those who have crossed over. Consider the remarkable story of Margaret from Austin, Texas. After losing her husband of 42 years, she continued to feel his presence in their home, particularly while tending to the garden they had cultivated together. This emotional connection, forged through decades of shared joys, sorrows, and countless quiet moments, created what Cayce would call an energetic pathway between their souls that persisted beyond physical separation. What's fascinating about these connections is that they sometimes become even stronger after the transition, as if freed from material limitations. Cayce explained this phenomenon by noting that consciousness travels where thought leads it, and that pure love, unbounded by physical constraints, can create powerful channels of communication between dimensions. Unfinished business and unfulfilled promises play a special role in this selection process. The Roberts family from Minnesota experienced this when their father began appearing in the eldest son's dreams after he decided to sell the family business, something his father had made him promise never to do. According to Cayce's readings, Souls often maintain these connections to help complete important soul contracts or to guide loved ones toward fulfilling shared purposes. The depth of emotional connection doesn't always depend on the length of time spent together. Elizabeth from Miami feels the constant presence of a friend with whom she spent only 3 years, but shared an intense period battling illness. Casey explained that it is not time that measures the strength of bonds between souls, but the intensity of experiences shared and lessons learned together. Souls often choose to connect with those with whom they have unresolved gestalts, unspoken words of love, unforgiven resentments, or unshared confessions. These emotional anchors keep them close to the living until important understanding or forgiveness occurs. During these moments, souls may manifest with particular clarity, trying to reach their loved ones and help them release the heavy burdens of the past. Our own receptivity to contact is equally crucial. John from Tampa illustrates this perfectly. A lifelong skeptic, he noticed no signs from his deceased mother, though other family members often spoke of unusual occurrences. During a particularly difficult period in his life, John decided to let go of his skepticism and simply trust his feelings. It was then that surprising things began to happen, finding his mother's favorite flower in unexpected places, hearing her favorite song on the radio at significant moments, experiencing vivid dreams where she offered guidance. Edgar Cayce emphasized in reading 3744-1 that the best manner to communicate with those who have passed on is not through forced methods or channels, but through attunement to the vibrations of universal consciousness. This receptivity depends largely on our state of being. When we're immersed in daily routines, hurried and stressed, our consciousness resembles a clouded crystal through which it's practically impossible to see clearly. But the moment we stop, calm ourselves, and listen within, everything changes. Mary, a hospice nurse from Cleveland, experienced this transformation firsthand. She had encountered death professionally for years, but approached it strictly from a clinical perspective. After she began practicing meditation and dedicating time to spiritual development, she started noticing that the souls of recently deceased patients sometimes came to say goodbye or thank her for her care. Receptivity doesn't mean constantly waiting for a miracle or a sign. On the contrary, it's a state of calm acceptance and readiness. Casey often described it as being in tune with the infinite, a state of inner equilibrium where the boundaries between dimensions naturally thin. Many people report receiving signs from loved ones precisely when they stop insistently looking for them. This receptivity is also connected to our ability to trust our sensations. Often, we receive signals from departed souls, but immediately rationalize them away as coincidences or imagination. That's why learning to trust our inner voice and intuition becomes so important in establishing these connections. As Edgar Cayce reminded us, the veil between worlds is thinnest when the heart is open and the mind is still. Time and place play crucial roles in the connection between worlds. Edgar Cayce's readings frequently mention that certain moments create natural windows for communication with those who have passed on. In reading 39541, Cayce stated, "For time and space exist only in the material consciousness. To the soul, they are as nothing." Through countless experiences shared by people around the world, we've discovered that soul connections often manifest on significant dates or in places filled with special memories. Claire from Arizona exemplifies this perfectly. Each year on her grandmother's birthday, she visits the old garden where they used to grow roses together. Without fail, she experiences a profound presence, as if her grandmother continues tending to her favorite flowers from beyond the veil. Souls frequently choose locations associated with the most vivid shared memories for contact. It might be the family home, a favorite bench in the park, the shore of a lake where summers were spent, or even simply the kitchen where a loved one enjoyed preparing special meals. In these places, according to Casey, the boundary between worlds becomes thinner, making it easier for souls to transmit their messages. Certain dates also hold special significance. Beyond birthdays or death anniversaries, souls often choose holidays that were important to them in life. The Anderson family from Minnesota feels Grandma Betty's presence every Christmas Eve, a time when she always prepared a special family dinner and decorated their home with particular care. Now, her soul seems to continue participating in this tradition, creating a sensation of warmth and unity that the family recognizes immediately. Interestingly, contact frequently occurs during what anthropologists call liminal times, the hours before dawn or at twilight. Many people report feeling the presence of departed loved ones most intensely during these threshold moments of the day. Casey explained this phenomenon by noting that consciousness is most receptive when it itself is in transition, suggesting that these in-between times naturally align our awareness with subtle energies. Sometimes souls choose completely unexpected places and moments for contact. Jennifer from Portland recounts feeling her father's presence in a random cafe she had never visited before. Later, she discovered it was his favorite place during his youth, something she had no conscious knowledge of. These instances demonstrate how souls can guide us toward discovering new chapters in our loved ones' stories, helping us understand and feel them more completely. The methods souls use to communicate vary widely, often reflecting their personality in life. Edgar Cayce noted in reading 57568 that the manner of communication depends upon the development of the entity or soul that has passed on, as well as upon the development of the one to whom such manifestations would come. Dreams represent the most common pathway, as our consciousness is most open to contact during sleep when the protective barriers of the mind are weakened. The Thompson family from Georgia shares an astonishing story of all three siblings seeing their father in dreams on the same night following his passing, each receiving an important personal message tailored to their individual life situations. Physical signs constitute another way souls communicate their presence. These may include unexpected discoveries of old photographs or mementos, sudden sense of a departed loved one's perfume or cigarettes, inexplicable playing of favorite music, or the appearance of special objects. A woman from California describes how after her husband's death, she began finding coins minted in the year they met. These discoveries invariably occurred during moments when she particularly needed support. Sometimes souls manifest through natural phenomena. White butterflies, unusual bird behavior, or sudden gusts of wind on a still day can all be ways of drawing our attention. David from Phoenix shared how after his mother's passing, a hummingbird began regularly approaching his office window, precisely during moments when he was thinking of her or needed guidance. Casey explained that nature itself becomes the canvas upon which souls can paint their messages, as the natural world exists simultaneously in multiple dimensions. Electrical devices often become conduits for contact as well. Flickering lights, televisions or radios turning on spontaneously, strange behavior of mobile phones, all these can represent a soul's attempt to attract our attention. Such manifestations generally don't provoke fear, but rather create a sensation of loving presence. As Edgar Casey emphasized in his readings, the soul is not only the builder, but the joiner, for life is continuous, only changing in its form and purpose. This continuity allows for ongoing connection, expressed through various means according to the unique relationship between the souls involved. Significantly, souls sometimes use other people as intermediaries, especially children or highly sensitive individuals. A young grandchild might suddenly say something only you and the deceased person knew, or a stranger on the street might utter a phrase that was special between you. These coincidences aren't accidents, but carefully chosen methods for transmitting messages across dimensions. Many people ask if there's a way to help the souls of their loved ones establish contact. The experiences of countless individuals suggest that certain practices can indeed facilitate this sacred connection. Edgar Casey addressed this directly in reading 37445, saying, "The best approach is not to seek phenomena, but rather to seek attunement with the creative forces. Then the phenomena will take care of themselves. First and foremost, creating a tranquil and harmonious atmosphere around ourselves provides an ideal environment for connection. This might be a quiet room with soft lighting, playing music that was special to the departed person, or simply finding a place where you feel at peace." Casey emphasized that harmony within creates harmony without, suggesting that our internal state creates an energetic environment that souls can more easily access. Meditation and prayer are powerful tools for establishing connection. You don't need to follow strict religious protocols. Simply find time for a quiet conversation with the soul of your loved one. Share your feelings and experiences as you would when they were physically present. Casey noted that prayer is the attunement of the physical and mental bodies to their spiritual source, creating a natural bridge between dimensions. The emotional quality of this connection matters deeply. Souls find it easier to establish contact when we're open and sincere in our emotions. Linda from Michigan shares how for a long time she didn't notice her husband's presence until she began keeping a journal of unusual events. Only then did she realize how frequently she found feathers in her path, particularly on days when she missed him most intensely. Being ready for contact doesn't mean constantly waiting for a miracle. On the contrary, it's a quiet acceptance that connection may manifest at unexpected moments. Casey often remarked that expectancy without anxiety is the perfect attitude for spiritual experiences. Souls frequently choose moments for contact when we're engaged in everyday activities, preparing dinner, working in the garden, or simply walking down the street. During these times, our minds are less tense and more receptive to subtle signals. Many find that regular engagement with meaningful objects from a loved one helps strengthen the connection. Looking at photographs, touching their favorite items, or even preparing their favorite meals can create an emotional bridge between worlds through which souls can more easily transmit their messages. As Casey explained, objects hold the vibrations of those who possess them, creating tangible links across dimensions. It's essential to remember that each contact with a loved one's soul is a gift that cannot be demanded or rushed. Our task is to create a space where such an encounter becomes possible and maintain openness to this experience. At the same time, we must be prepared for contact to come in forms we don't expect, and at moments we haven't chosen. Sometimes, the most powerful connections happen when we focus not on receiving messages, but on honoring our loved ones through how we live. Edgar Cayce often emphasized that the greatest communication is to live true to the highest ideals you shared with those who have passed on. By embodying the values, dreams, and wisdom we cherish together, we create a living memorial that resonates across dimensional boundaries. The experience of the Williams family illustrates this beautifully. After losing their father, who was passionate about education, they established a small scholarship in his name. Each time they award it to a deserving student, they report feeling his presence with remarkable clarity. Casey would explain that such acts of carrying forward a loved one's legacy create powerful resonances that naturally facilitate contact. For those concerned about whether such contact is spiritually appropriate, Casey offered reassurance. He distinguished between unhealthy attachment to the departed and the natural continuation of loving connections. In reading 5756-8, he stated, "Communication between loved ones, separated only by the thin veil called death, is not only possible but natural when motivated by love rather than curiosity or grief. If you're still waiting for a sign from a beloved one, don't lose heart. Remain open to different forms of contact. Trust your feelings and intuition. Perhaps your loved one is already trying to communicate using methods you haven't yet recognized." As Edgar Casey reminds us, the bridge between worlds is built with love, maintained with memory, and crossed through awareness. The most profound message from Casey's work on this subject is perhaps this: the connection between souls transcends physical existence and continues to evolve after what we call death. Our consciousness, which Casey described as a drop from the ocean of universal consciousness, remains eternally connected to all other consciousness. In this understanding, we are never truly separated from those we love, only experiencing them in a different form. The greatest comfort in grief may be knowing that love truly knows no boundaries, not even those separating worlds. Each person finds their special pathway of communication with the souls of their loved ones, and these connections bring more light, love, and understanding into their lives. Remember that the absence of obvious signs doesn't mean your loved one has forgotten you or doesn't wish to communicate. Their soul may be reaching out in ways so gentle and delicate that you haven't yet learned to recognize these signs. As the experience of the Brown family from New Jersey shows, even 25 years after their mother's passing, they continue to receive supportive signs from her at the most important moments in their lives, demonstrating that love is indeed stronger than physical separation. Dear friends, Thank you for joining me on this exploration of how souls choose to connect with us after their transition. I hope this information has helped you better understand the pathways through which our loved ones continue to reach us, and perhaps notice signs that previously went unrecognized. If you found value in this video, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you won't miss future episodes. Your support helps us create more meaningful content on topics that matter to you. I'd love to hear your personal experiences in the comments below. Have you felt the presence of a loved one who has passed on? What signs or messages have you received? Sharing your story might bring comfort to others who are still waiting for their sign. Until next time, take care of yourselves and honor the eternal connections that bind us all together.